Uh, Hello everyone, welcome to this session. If you are interested to join this, you can find the Google Meet link in that chart, okay? And even I provided that link in the description, okay? Okay, so I'm just sharing the entire screen, okay? If you find any difficulty in hearing my words or any kind of screen problem, just let me know, like that, the chart, okay? And as I said, it's a live meeting. That means you can also join through that Google Meet, and you can ask your questions, okay? uh, or you can ask your questions in the chat also, but it is better to talk through like Google Meet, okay? And it seems that the Google Meet will be disconnecting after 1 hour. Actually, I plan to have this session for 2 hours. Okay. And if there is any issue related to Google Meet, maybe we have to join again. Okay. Just remember that. Just make note of that Google Meet link. Okay. Um, Let me start the session. And before that, just let me check whether that live is properly. Okay. And if anyone is watching this live, you can also give your comments. Okay. And another thing is, it is live session, as I said. This live session. Okay. So people are watching, it seems. But audio, I'm not able to hear whether anyone. Okay. If there are any audio issue, just let me know. Okay. For me, not loading here properly. Okay. If there are any other issues related to. Okay. Okay, let me start this. Okay. So actually, I mentioned this free webinar, right? People who are interested to learn about uh, AI, artificial intelligence, can join this session. Okay, I'm planning to do it frequently. This is the first session. I didn't get time to promote it. Okay, yes, that's why I'm not able to get people to join here. But in the coming days, I will be running advertisements or social media promotion to make it more interactive. Anyway, right now I'm just telecasting it, broadcasting through my YouTube channel. So if you are watching this through YouTube channel, you can find the Google Meet link there. Okay. Okay. Let me start the actual discussion. I just prepared this one. Okay. This is the webinar agenda. First of all, how AI works and why it matters to you. Like what is AI, basics of machine learning and deep learning, AI versus automation, understanding the difference, why AI is transforming the world, real world impact. So these are the things, okay. But if you have any physical questions, you can stop me at any time and we can discuss that thing. Because I already created a structured recorded video and I already uploaded it in this channel, as well as I included it in that course, Udemy and Skillshare, okay. So I am uh, preferring to have a casual discussion, especially if you have any specific questions, you can just join through Google Meet or you can ask through YouTube chat also. Okay. Um, so basically, it is for beginners. I'm planning to have separate session for like developers. Okay, AI developers or advanced from that perspective, including retrieval augmented generation RAG. That thing I will be talking in separate session. But this session I am planning to keep it very simple. Okay. Okay, first of all, I would like to show the sample AI applications. Okay, I already posted the article. Uh, blog.qualitypointtech.com. One is read the articles, come to the blog, and you can read. Actually, I am updating this blog for many years from the year 2008 itself. Previously, I was updating articles related to web development, software testing, test automation, QTP automation, that kind of information I was adding. Then later on, I started adding emerging technologies like that. Okay, but if you check the recent blog post, mostly all of them are related to uh, artificial intelligence. So if you are interested in learning more thing, you can go through these articles. Okay, even I created separate subreddits for learning RAG and as well as for learning AI. Okay, I'll be showing them. Okay, or you can just find the links from here. Okay, so in case of learning RAG, you can click this learn RAG. Here I shared a lot of information related to RAG. Similarly, for learning AI, I created a separate. I will be just sharing the link here also. Also, there is some. I shared it in the Google. So here you can find a lot of related to retrieval augmented. So these are all some advanced things I will be. But a lot of other subreddits also there, artificial learning. Okay. But I'm just trying to share very simple articles, okay, for beginners. Okay. And let me first start with very application that beginners can also understand the power of. Okay. I already shortlisted 8 applications. Okay. Draw, another one is auto draw, runway ML, and executable machine 8 and okay. Um, uh, we go through everything. It takes some time. So I'm just giving some overview, but I will show samples. Start with. But these are just to show the power of AI. Okay. After that, we can talk about how to effectively. That's just for quick draw. Is joining. I will be just uh, uh, that I already created one live video. That okay. We have to draw the Okay, here it's asking to draw fire hydrant. Right. That's good. Okay, trying to what I'm drawing. If I'm correctly drawing, it will find it. I'm just drawing. You can how it's reflecting right here. If I draw it, it's able to trying to understand what I'm drawing, right? Here, trained with a lot of images, 3 million drawings. Based on that, it is automatically detecting. If I draw it properly, then it will detect it. Otherwise, say something similar to what I'm drawing, right? The basic of AI. AI, they already trained that model with these many images, okay? And whenever I try to do something, it is matching with already existing images, and if it is finding the pattern similar to existing one, it is matching with that one. Okay, this is the fundamental. It is for drawing. The same concept will be applicable for text, voice, everything. Okay, here suppose if there is any correct data in the training thing, you have to fix that. Okay, here Google. providing that option. Okay, put any. So the entirely that AI will work based on the quality of the training. Okay, for that purpose I'm just doing this auto draw. So the same concept, but it's for real application. Suppose if you want to draw something, okay, you can draw something here. Suppose if you want to draw a candle. Uh, okay, this one also is the same concept. Okay, already they trained with a lot of pattern images and mapped with this actual image. Now it's the help of AI, it is able to find the pattern and then matching it. Okay, so the very core of the AI is that finding patterns. For that we have to train the models. That is the fundamental. So similarly, Runway ML is for generating images and videos, a lot of things. One is completely AI drawn, not actual person. Hello, fine, right? Are you able to hear me? Hello, hello. Okay, any question you can ask? Okay, the fully AI generated image. So for that, that AI models are trained with a lot of, okay, based on that training data, it's able to generate new. So basically, traditional artificial intelligence is like a classification, regression, that kind of that will classify whether email is spam or not, like that only. But this generative AI is very key. This is the very latest thing. Uh, this because of this one, we are seeing a lot of growth happening in the AI sector. I will be explain them later. Okay. Uh, uh, Initially, I'm just trying to like give some overview about how the AI is. These all images are AI generated images. Like it's like realistic one, right? Very difficult to differentiate between real one. It is called as a deep fake. Also. Deep fake in the sense, suppose if you want to like create an image of someone else by training data of that person, then it will be able to create that person in different way. Uh, that is the negative side of the AI development. That my ebook I included a chapter for ethical AI. Okay. Because it's not just a discussion topic. Almost all the organizations are now forced to implement ethical AI. Okay, because whenever they do the training for their models with data, if there are any biases in the data, then the entire model will be affected. It's like keep on propagating to other levels. That's teachable machine. It's an easy way of understanding a training. Okay, in that quick draw and that auto draw and this person doesn't exist. That applications we were seeing the end result, right? The quick draw, Google is able to identify the image, whatever image I'm trying to draw, right? And in the auto draw, it is able to like pick the relevant images based on the drawing, right? And this person doesn't exist. That website is able to generate fake images. Okay, but in this, all these case, we are just we are the like usage end. We are just using the trained models. Okay, but in the teachable machine, we will be understand the overall end-to-end process. Okay, here they provided the explanation, right? In the train. I already created uploaded video with the details applicable for image, audio, post. In start with one. The fundamental. Okay, we have to give the sample images and we have to give the label. Okay, uh, and we have to train the model. Then we can start using the model that is called the sequence. First of all, we have to prepare data and then the data training data for the labeling. Like let us take a very simple example. That my previous video also I explained the same thing, like differentiating between a dog and cat. It's a very obvious, simple example. So we have to do the labeling. Okay, called as supervised learning. Okay, and once after do the learned data preparation, and then we can start the training process. Okay, here some advanced concepts be there, but as of now we can just here we can upload the image.
Excuse me, sir. Sir, your screen is not visible.
Screen not visible.
Yes, sir. Now only.
Not visible through your through you watching through YouTube or
No, sir. I am in Meet, Google Meet.
okay, okay.
Yes, sir. Now perfectly all right.
Okay, okay. Okay. After we prepare the data, always recommended to for training data and evaluation data for testing purpose. cat image. We downloaded 3 dog image, cat images, label them. That's name. File format is okay. Thanks for joining. Read the dog images, 3 dog images. Now we prepare the data set. Then we can start the training. Here is a lot of things are there, okay, but this session is for beginners, right? So I'm just trying to give the overview about AI. Fundamentally, what is AI? For that purpose only, I'm just teaching. But for development perspective, maybe we can have this separately. I'm planning to have a separate a webinar from the AI development perspective. Okay, this is just for giving the overview. So we prepare the training data and we are just training the model with the default epochs and batch size, learning rate, everything. Okay, getting trained. once after training, completion of training, epochs in the sense it's just a number of iterations, okay, steps. So now the training completed. Either we can use this web camera. Just try with some random image. So here it's saying that dog has 2%, cat 5. Okay. Since we trained with very less number of images, and we just classified only 2 categories, so it's just trying to work within that. Okay, but if we use actual cat or dog, take it with more confidence. Once we upload cat, it is detecting cat as 100% confidence. Okay, but if we have various classes, then it will detect accordingly. Dog, but the cat image we selected here, it's completely different from all the cat images we used for training, right? So still it's able to detect it with 100%. Dog also like 99% confidence. Here these 3 dogs, but this test dog is completely different from this one, but still it's able to identify. That is the power of AI. So all these 3 dogs are entirely different from this dog, but still it's able to identify properly. Okay. This pattern finding, it's a key concept of artificial intelligence. A lot of various models are there. Okay. And similarly, machine learning and deep learning, that difference is there. Maybe I will be explaining those things in next few minutes. But this here, I am just trying to highlight how the AI is working. So first we saw that quick draw, then that auto draw, then this person does not exist. Okay, all these things are like it's like something it's magic kind of thing, right? But internally it's working in this way only. So they're training with a lot of data that AI algorithms are able to find the patterns. Okay, and then it's able to uh, identify. So a lot of various things are there, but I'm just trying to say the overview. from beginner perspective. But internally, as it's doing a lot of things like uh, uh, classification, regression. So recently, that generative AI, that's a key thing. Okay. Okay. These are things I'm just trying to give some understanding about AI. But this session and that actually for as I mentioned that blog post, I'm just trying to give some details about how to use AI tools effectively. Okay, this is just to give the overview. Okay, so that we can use the AI tools carefully because here everything is based on the training data. If we are not using training data properly, then it will be that much useful. Okay. Um, this is the fundamental of AI. Okay, this session is more on how to the AI tools properly. The primary one is ChatGPT, and uh, from browser typing chatgpt.com. Okay, and we can use apps also, but I'm just explaining from browser. Here, whatever we are typing here, that is called as prompt. Okay, whatever input we are giving, that is what prompt. So for the AI models, we are giving the prompts. Okay, ChatGPT is it's a web interface. Okay, here it's a web interface. In case of app interface, it's like a wrapper kind of thing. Okay, internally it is using GPT-4 model. 4o it seems right now it's 4o. This is a large language model. Okay, LLMs. LLMs are a very important thing. Because of that LLMs only, we are seeing a lot of advancement happening with AI. Otherwise, that AI models are already there for many years. Okay, we might have heard about a lot of traditional models like a chatbot kind of thing, but they are very inefficient. But because of that LLM, large language model, uh, many big companies they trained a lot of data with like complete internet data, like that we can say, right? So that kind of models are having huge capacity. Okay, and recently they are using a new kind of model like a transformer. That concept. Okay, that is what that name GPT. Okay, transformer model. This one. That transformer model are like they simultaneously handle the entire text. So that is very much powerful. Okay, from both speed perspective as well as understanding the whole concept. Okay, so that is the key difference. So previously a lot of models are there for the chart development, everything, that RASA, that kind of things were getting used, but almost everything is getting replaced with this LLMs. LLMs are a lot of LLMs are there like ChatGPT and Gemini, Google Gemini. Anthropics, Claude, like that, lot of things. Everyone is specialized in something, but internally they are using large language models. Okay, case of ChatGPT, it is currently using GPT-4 model. The Gemini is using 2.0 Flash that model. Okay, but the ChatGPT, the GPT-4 model is text-based large language model, right? But ChatGPT, we can ask ChatGPT to create images also, right? Suppose if you want to have some thumbnail image, or you can ask it to. Now creating the images, right? Basically, internally it is using multiple models. For image creation, it is using DALL-E. Okay. For voice recognition, other things, it is using Whisper, that model. Okay. So these all things are from OpenAI, that company OpenAI. Similarly, Google is having, Gemini is having its own set of models for language, I mean text handling, for image handling, for voice handling, like that. Okay. So that in the app ChatGPT and Gemini, internally they are using multiple AI models. So they are trained with a lot of data, and their LLMs are using that transformer models. Okay, they are very powerful. So here, as I said, whatever we are asking here, this question, everything is called as prompt. Okay, it is from we have to be very we should be having some understanding about prompt. That is what prompt engineering. It is important from two perspectives. One is like uh, here in for daily usage, or for our personal use or something. Like for usage, we should be knowing proper prompt engineering. That is one thing. For AI application development also, we have to use prompt engineering. Because as I said, because of these LLMs, that AI development is completely changing. Just LLMs are having full power, like they can do anything like that. Okay, so the development is now focusing on like using that LLMs. That is what right now that key skill record for AI development. Previously, we should be knowing about AI algorithms. We should be knowing about how to choose the training data and other things. A lot of things are there. Recently, I was working with one project related to reading labels from packets. Okay, for that I tried with the YOLO model, that is image based model. That it took significant time for me to prepare the data and then train the model and set up like various parameters and tune that, like that. Lot of efforts are required. But in case of OpenAI's Vision API, if we are using that, within a few minutes we will be able to complete that, and it will be more powerful than our own way of doing. And moreover, we can do the fine tuning of LLMs, so that we can use our own data also. Okay, but only drawback is it's connected to internet. That is one thing, and the major thing is we have to pay for API usage. But from that perspective, having our own models is still relevant. For that, we can find a lot of models from like Hugging Face. Here we can lot of models for various purposes. Google also we can get a lot of data models, tens of models is arranged in various multimodal, audio to text, image, text, computer vision. So as I said, from user perspective, like everything will be looking similar, like a transcription and speech recognition, that kind of things will be looking similar, but from actual development perspective, they are having different things. Like even in case of image recognition, image classification, image detection, that kind of things are object detection, that are completely different. Okay, So each model will be having their strength in a particular thing. Maybe some models will be doing both things, but each model is having its own specialty towards some specific task. In that perspective, we have to understand which model will be more. I'm just talking from traditional perspective, okay? But because of generative AI, this LLMs, everything is now getting changed. So we can just connect to LLMs with the API with a few lines of codes, and we can just with the help of prompt engineering, we'll be able to ask it to do anything. Okay. So whatever we are doing from this ChatGPT, so we can just call the API and then just so here we are asking to create a create thumbnail like that, right? So suppose if you are planning to create a web application for allowing your users to create a thumbnail image for their videos, we can just create an interface, okay? And internally, we can just send a API call to OpenAI by including this prompt. Basically, the prompt engineering is playing important role. That is the major change happening right now. Previously, everything we have to have a lot of knowledge related to machine learning, deep learning, that kind of stuff. But now we can most all the related very simply using API calls. Okay, but as I said, the API calls are bit costly only. We have to still explore traditional. For that, we can Hugging Face call. From there, we can get a lot of things. Here also for using some models, they will be loaded into our local machine. Some models we have to still use API calls, but they will be free. In case of OpenAI, in the sense that there will be some limit. Okay, let me focus on today's agenda is towards prompt engineering, right? So here we created the image, but the problem is it's a square image. For YouTube, we have to have that aspect ratio 16 by 9, right? So here the prompt engineering. So here we have to provide the clear. I'm just asking create thumbnail. We have to give that additional specific detail. Create. So this is the prompting skill. Okay, it is required for AI application development also. We're creating a thumbnail image generator application. We have to clearly specify that prompt properly. So obviously, in case of thumbnail image, it should be understanding the aspect ratio, right? That is our common understanding. Now it created properly, right? But normally that LLMs, generally artificial intelligence, that models, they won't clearly understand the things. Okay, here for some complex tasks, they will be working very clearly, but for simple things also they will fail probably. Okay, that is the huge problem with AI models. Okay, there are various reasons are there. Problem with the training data and a lot of things are there. So generally, it is called as hallucination. Hallucination is a big problem. Okay, for grounding the models, we need some mechanism. So for that, either we can do the prompting properly in the sense just to manage or handle the problems, the inherent problems of LLMs. Okay, that is the thing I'm just trying to highlight here, because create thumbnail image for video, that is enough generally, right? But even though the LLM is having a lot of information, okay, like unimaginable details having, but still it's not able to understand the thumbnail should be the aspect ratio of 60:9. Okay, we have to quickly give that. So we need to understand how the LLM is currently behaving. We need to find a way for grounding that hallucination things. Okay, so for simple things we can do in the prompt itself. Like here we added aspect ratio 69, right? So similarly we can do various things. We can give like a lot of things are there. Few shot learning like that. So prompting while giving the prompt itself, we can give some samples. Okay. Uh, if we are working for some large data means, we cannot give the samples in the prompt itself, because each and every LLMs, or whether it's a ChatGPT or, so obviously, as I explained, LLM in the sense it's a GPT-4 that models begin that, but for generally speaking, I'm just telling as ChatGPT and Gemini. Okay, so it's a normal. Whenever we are talking casually, we are saying that ChatGPT LLM. Okay, but in fact, the actual technical perspective, it is different thing. Okay, okay. Normally, what I'm trying to say is the LLMs are having a context window. Okay, so we cannot provide a lot of details in the prompt. That case, that retrieval augmented generation, that concept is getting used. We have to um, like get the proper data, like relevant data, and then the prompt. That I will talking there. That involves a lot of complex things like creating embeddings. So here, why I'm mentioning here is this is the core problem of AI. So in case of individual models, like training from scratch and having full control for that, that is one scenario. But that is completely now getting outdated because of these LLMs. So we have to focus more on LLMs, generative AI. So in that perspective, we have to find a way to handle that hallucination, other things. One is doing proper prompt engineering. Another is RAG, that kind of stuff. Okay. Any questions? Any questions? I already added a lot of things regarding that context window I explained, right? Start learning. Let me focus more on prompt engineering. Here, provide a lot of examples. So these principles of prompt engineering, it's almost same. OpenAI website also, they provided the same things. Okay, but we can add more things based on our own requirements. But the core principles are almost same. The clarity, specificity, and context, providing context. Iteration, alignment. Let us discuss one. The clarity in the sense, stop asking, tell me about space. We got to explain the process of star formation in terms. So we have to provide the exact things. In case, instead of just asking thumbnail for video, we have to provide the aspect ratio and what kind of video, that thing. Right? In case of the best thing is giving samples, like one shot prompts or few shot prompts. Like in our example, I can some different examples. We are asking to like details about some city. Here you're asking give details about Chennai, right? So if we ask, it will give some in random format, right? But if you want that format in specific format, like population, uh, like the number of people, like that, if you are the language percentage of like uh, number of colleges or whatever, or if you are blindly asking like give details about Chennai, it will be like this. But we want specific format, you can give the format examples, like find below example. You can give details about some other city. In case of start learning, we can give like for Mumbai. Here we can give our record format. We can give the population of Mumbai. Here we can give the we give some examples, then it will give the answer that format. It is called as few shot. We give one example, that zero shot prompting, in the sense here without giving any examples, we can just ask the details, like give details about Chennai in the format like population, millions, and give the percentage of male or female, like that. If you are if you are able to describe in the prompt itself, then it is zero shot prompting. Okay. here the problem. Okay, uh, though we provided examples in a very simple way, they added some additional information. Okay, it is okay for getting information, but in AI development, from that perspective, if we are going to send the details in JSON, other uh, predefined format, then it will be creating. So in that case, we have to give additional information, like in the prompt we can give just to follow my example, add any other details like that we have to. In this format. Okay, this is the prompt engineering. Okay, we have to understand how it's working. Okay. That is one thing. There are two things. One is generally how to properly use that. That is one thing that we can find that in almost all the places. The OpenAI is referred by most of the people. So based on that, I created this blog post. Okay. Here we can get all the details, how to clearly give the prompt and how to specify uh, some important features and give the context and background. Okay, these are all very general things. So this is also very this kind of things also very important for everyday usage. We have to follow them very properly. Then only we will be able to get the proper answers. Any hallucination. Okay, that is one thing. And another thing is like understanding how it's behaving based on our requirements. If our suppose each and every LLM will be having their own kind of behavior. Okay, so we need to be familiar with them. That is another thing. And this chain of prompts is also very important. Okay, as I said, LLMs like the hallucination issue is very big issue. Okay, this chain of thought prompt will be somewhat useful to avoid that problem. Suppose uh, if you are asking some hard questions, I already explained in my previous videos with the examples. Okay, they will be trying to give some immediately it will be throwing some incorrect answer. Okay, but we have to specifically ask that LLMs to follow certain steps. Otherwise, simply say that do this step by step. So that is a common like step by step. That keyword, if you add it, then it will be taking more time to do the uh, steps properly. Okay, otherwise it will straight away go to the end step and give wrong answer. Okay, and this one role playing, it's very important one. Almost I'm using it on daily basis. If I want to prepare Google ads for promoting any of my products, I used to ask Chat to act as SEO expert or PPC expert. We can ask anything. Act as. Normally the keyword is act as. Okay, we can ask anything kind of it. I'm just saying. You can assume as like that. We can say the act as commonly used. Okay, you can say that act as. Suppose if you are on any medical tips, you can say that act as a doctor like that. Okay, so we can ask that LLMs to act as some person, and then we can ask specific questions. So in that case, it will be the answers will be somewhat better. Okay. As I said, few of them are some standard approaches. Okay, we have to provide examples, uh, few prompts, and we have to provide the keywords step by step, like chain of thoughts. Okay, and role playing actors. Okay. So another thing is the contextual memory. This is it's bit somewhat some tricky because LLMs are having that contextual memory. That is one thing. In that web interface also, we are having some options here. One is memory. Here, based on our start with this ChatGPT. ChatGPT will like extract key information about us, and then it will store it in the memory. Okay, so whenever it is trying to give answer for our further questions, it will consider that data. Okay, it is memory. Okay, memory it's completely different from that context. Okay. Let me first explain that one. That is the normal concept that memory they recently added. You can customize also. Suppose here I provided I know Tamil and English, right? So it will behave based on that. I need not give these details when I am giving prompts. Okay. Similarly, we can give any kind of details. So, you can give details about your work, everything. So based on that, it will be giving the details. This is one factor affecting our response. Okay, based on our this customized settings, it will behave. That is one thing. And another thing is the key thing is this context history. Suppose I started new chart right now. Now, if I'm asking about my previous thumbnail, it won't be having that information. Suppose if I'm asking to create a different thumbnail, uh, it normally it won't remember that topic AI for beginner. Okay, but because of this memory, that new feature for particular important key things, it will be updating in the memory. So in that case, it will be having some information. So, but technically, the basic thing is every new window will be clearing the context. Okay, suppose if you don't want to keep that previous context history, you can create a new. Otherwise, if you want to keep on continuing like having a casual chat with ChatGPT, then you have to use the same window. Okay, but again, that because of that context window limit, this ChatGPT cannot send all the details to that LLM, the GPT-4, whatever it's used. Okay, so in that case, after some limitation, like if we keep on talking to the ChatGPT on the same window, it will be like doing some kind of mechanisms like summarization, other things to manage that, but it won't be that much effective. From development perspective, whenever we send prompts to the LLMs, we have to take care of this context. We have to send the previous questions also. Whenever sending the new question, we have to send the previous questions either as it is, or we have to combine the details to manage the context, that window limitation. Okay. So memory is completely different. As I said, memory it will be gathering the key details from us. Whenever we ask ChatGPT, if it is finding some key information, it will ask us whether it can. Normally, it won't ask. It will say that I am updating the memory. Okay. So normally that LLMs like ChatGPT are useful in creating articles. We can ask any kind of information. It will be if you can give your own text, and you can ask to correct for grammar, other things, okay, and it will be doing. Okay. Other than that, you can it's a generative model, right? You can ask write a story, write a poem, like that. Anything you can ask, write poem, it will write. But from developer perspective, we have more control. While writing poem, there is one key thing like temperature. Okay, so the LLMs parameter is temperature is important thing. For this kind of artistic work, the temperature, high temperature is okay, acceptable, so that it can give variety of content. Okay. Otherwise, if we put very low temperature, then it will keep on giving the same information, right? Uh, so it is it's good from this perspective. But for other professional, some information purpose, if we keep the temperature high, it will it will that information may not be that much accurate. Okay. So as a developer, we will be having that control. We will sending the prompts to the LLMs, we can specify the uh, temperature. Okay. In case of Google Gemini, they are providing AI Studio. Okay. From there, we can experiment various things. What I'm trying to say is that ChatGPT is using that same GPT-4 model. Developers, as a developer, we can also use that model for creating our own application. But creating our own application, will be having more control compared to web interface. Okay. Here there are two roles, right? One is as a user, we are asking questions. That ChatGPT as an assistant, it is giving reply. There are only two roles, right? But in case of API access, we can use three roles, system role and assistant and user. Okay. In case of act as something that I explained that prompt, right? So for that we have to specify that act as something, right? But in case of development, that from that perspective, the system role, we can give that kind of details. Okay. So there will be having some additional convenience. As I said here, I was telling about the usage of ChatGPT, right? So it can create poems, and we can use for. Normally, mostly people are using it for learning new things. It can explain to explain any concept to the fifth grader or third grader. So whatever level you want, you can just ask explain about. So the same information will be presented in various ways. That is the big advantage of this LLM. Okay. And you can give the your suppose if you are preparing some article, you can give your article, and you can make summary of that article, or you can ask it to expand that article. Okay. And this ChatGPT is very much useful for writing coding. Okay. It can create any kind of code. You can just specify that to create PHP code or Python code. Yes. It will immediately create a code. But as I said previously, we are the prompt engineering plays important role. So suppose if you have any constraints or anything, you have to specify. It is applicable for article writing also. Suppose if you want the article in 500 words, you have to specify that constraints or limits. Okay. Otherwise it will be generating in a random way. Here also, if you want to use any specific approach, you have to mention that. Okay. And apart from creating code, it will be able to explain the code. So if you are not understanding this, you can ask that explain this. You can understand the code. So we can effectively use ChatGPT for learning any kind of coding. Okay. And it will be useful for debugging also. If you are getting any error, you can just put the code and the error message, and it will try to correct that. But that hallucination is applicable for here also, for any kind of even you might have heard about that number of hours in Strawberry, right? For that simple question itself, it's not able to give proper answer, right? So that is the issue with current AI. Current AI is called as narrow AI, right? But it is facing that kind of thing. But scientists are working on towards AGI, general AI. So similarly, for creating code also, sometimes it will be creating in the wrong way. So, wrong way in the sense, mostly it will be using outdated libraries. So we have to specify that. Suppose if you are creating Python code, just mention that version, or if you are using some LangChain code or something, just to specify that version, or it should be compatible to some other related application. Means mention that application. So that kind of things are there. Okay. But it will be useful for learning, that is sure, but for actual working we have to be very careful about. Almost whatever we are seeing in the chat GPT, same thing for Gemini also. But here Gemini it's having its own like advantages, like product, right? Last many Google applications are integrated with that. Suppose if you are finding one YouTube video and it's like 2 hours lengthy video, if you want to find some summary of that video, you can just ask Gemini to give the summary of, then it will be take one video from here. Uploaded this prompt engineering case. If you are not having enough time to all the details, ask summary of this. Be giving more details. ChatGPT also will be able to do that, but here that integration is very close because both are from, right? Almost giving all the details, man. Clearly, for any kind of video, suppose we are not having enough time, we can just ask Gemini, or is the here in that blog post I posted various things, very very useful from my perspective. So for any kind of YouTubers, that will be that whisper model. Okay, here as of now, talked about LLMs, right? LLMs, we have to access the LLMs through API. But in case of very small scale models, we can load it in our local machine. That in that case, that whisper model is very useful. That also provided by OpenAI, but it's a free open source model. We can use it in our local. Okay. Just if you give some video, and it will be immediately creating the transcripts. Sample code. Sample coding in the sense, actually I'm using it for whenever I create new video for creating transcripts. I'm just using this model from my local. Okay, really useful one. I provided the details about how to use that in that post. Okay, and previously I was using Google, the built-in option, the YouTube itself having automatic transcript generation, but that and all having some limitations. Okay, so that is what I'm trying to say. Even that LLMs and other corporates powerful models are useful in one perspective. Still, its local symbol models are useful from different perspective. Here, since we are having this locally model, okay, and we're calling this transcribe, it will be just transcribing it. And for subtitle file creation, there is like a standard format. For that, they're adding this dot and text. Very simple. Just we have to put the model and call the transcribe. Additionally, we are having option like can provide frequently spoken words. Here GPT-4 means whenever YouTube is giving means it will be giving it small g, small p, small t, and 4 means F4 you are like that, it will be that won't be right. So if we are having full control, we can specify these details. So in that case, it will be creating the subtitle file properly. Just we can immediately upload it. We need not spend much time for correcting the mistakes. Okay, very useful one. Or any creator, anyone. As a AI developer, if you want to publish any kind of application, we can just uh, this is one model. Similarly, as I explained, we are having millions of, right. We can just take the model and we can use. And suppose if you want to use it for our specific use cases, we have to like prepare the training data and train that fine tuning. Okay, so almost the LLMs are pre-trained models. Okay, pre-trained with a lot of information, but still we can fine tune with our own information. Yes, our own local information be available with LLMs, right? So in that case, we can fine tune the LLMs. For that, they are providing fine tuning option. But the concept is same for our usual models also, local models also. We fine tune with our data. Okay. As I explained in that YOLO, uh, we can fine tune with our own. Suppose if you are having some 100 products, different kind of labels, we can train with that kind of information. That will be more optimized towards our own data. Okay. But technically, both concepts are same. But if we are doing it locally, then it will be more effective. In case of LLMs, since they are trained with a lot of data, that fine tuning with our own data, that won't be that much effective. From my personal experience, I'm saying, but I don't know whether uh, everyone is feeling the same thing. Okay. Uh, but that option is there. But still, suppose uh, if you're like um, giving expecting the LLMs to behave differently with our data, then it won't happen. In that case, we have to use RAG. Okay, but it is like it is that our own data will be useful for setting their style or tone. For that purpose, that will be useful. Okay. Um, so it's like a complex thing. It will be varying based on the use cases. That is what I'm trying to highlight from the beginning, right? That hallucination is similar to hallucination issue. This one also, that AI models won't behave as per our expectation. Okay, so we have to like experience with things like they will be doing very complex things very easily, but they will be uh, they will not be handling the small things correctly. Okay, we need to be careful in that thing. But generally, for simple, for example, want to transcribe the image, you can just upload the image and you can ask it to read the text from it. Then it will immediately read. But in case of previously, we have to use OCR software, other things, right? So, but read the text. Whatever we are doing from ChatGPT, we can do it from AI applications also. So if you are developing your own application, we can just send the details to LLM through OpenAI's API. Okay, for like reading text from image, OpenAI is providing Vision API. Extracted the content, right? So here we are not training with any kind of details like but if we are using our own font, in that case we may be recurring the fine tuning other things. Okay, but generally based on my testing, it's able to extract details from almost various kinds of fonts. I tried with various images. But if you want to do it locally, we can use the test track, that kind of OCR things. They are also having AI powered. We can use the traditional ways as well as we can use AI powered. Okay, but AI in the sense there are two major things you might have heard about, right? So that also we need to differentiate. One is traditional machine learning thing. The lot of frameworks and libraries are there for handling that things. Sklearn, scikit-learn, that kind of. I uploaded video and blog post about it. Okay. I'm just trying to give overview. I'm already one of us class, right? So there are that are using traditional machine learning. Okay, that case they will be requiring less resources, computing resources. Okay, but we need to give labeling like in this teachable machines I explained, right? This is dog, this is cat, like that. We have to give the labeling. But in case of deep learning, it is like uh, it will be automatically detecting the patterns. Okay, we need not spend time for labeling the data. It's just trying to like behave as a human brain. Okay, we might have seen that power up deep learning in various places. For example, Google Photos, it will be automatically suppose if some five people are there in your family, it will be automatically classifying the photos of each person, right? Here we are not saying that this is this person, this photo is of that person. We are not labeling like that, right? But in case of traditional machine learning, we have to do like that. Then after that, suppose if you are training with some 10 photos, then after that 11th and 12th photos, it will be automatically segregating. Okay, that is traditional machine learning kind of things. But deep learning kind of things, it will find the patterns automatically. Okay, so it will save a lot of time, training time. Okay, put one video for explaining that differences. Here we can find. But if possible, we can go with deep learning. But the thing is, it requires GPUs, TPUs. Okay. Similar to GPU, in case of machine learning things, that tensor processing is important thing. Edge of machine learning is it will work with smaller data sets because we are going to give the labeling, right? But for finding patterns, it needs large data sets. So based on our use case, we are to go with this. But not only this broader category, but within machine learning itself, we will be having different models, right? So each and every model will be having its own like requirements. Like requirements in the sense, what I'm trying to say is best cases. Like someone will work with for specific task, and some other model will be better with some other task. Blog post I provided.
Yeah, one question. Yeah, how these can be practiced? So, do we need? Is it a open source?
Which one we are asking?
No, how the this prompt engineering, you are trying to give some giving some prompts, right?
Yes.
So how this how I can practice in my machine? Do we
Yes.
need to install
No,
somewhere?
no, that
Or
is ChatGPT, right? You might have used that, right? ChatGPT. You're familiar with ChatGPT or not?
yeah,
Yeah, the
yeah,
the ChatGPT itself we can use.
yeah. Same way only, is it?
Yeah,
Okay.
yes. But as I said, if you want to use it in a proper way, then you can use this Google AI Studio, right? Right?
Gemini, right?
Yeah. Um, that will be having more flexibility. That will be giving more details. And but generally, if you are familiar with Python, are you familiar with Python?
Not yeah, that much.
Yeah, but
Sir.
simply also very like that Google Colab can go with
Yeah, collab.
Colab. You can create some samples, and there you can try with the prompt engineering. But as I said, if your recommend is your perspective is learning the development, then it is better to do with this. Otherwise, just to use ChatGPT effectively, then you can use the ChatGPT browser itself. Because for development, if you are using ChatGPT browser, means it will be making confusion because of that settings. In that settings, we can give some
Okay.
predefined values, right? That will create
Mm.
confusion. So in that case, better. But in case of OpenAI, we have to purchase that API access. Okay, each token will be uh, like each token means it's around 4 or 5 words. Okay, characters. Okay, so each
Mm.
token for token they will be charging. How many tokens we are using? Based on that, they will be charging. In that case, better you can use some other free and open source Hugging Face, right? Here we can
Okay.
create Hugging Face API. Okay, it's almost free only. Basic things. Maybe for higher usage, they may charge, and we can use Hugging Face, and we can try it there also. But as I said, each and every model will be completely different. So, like if you are very familiar with ChatGPT, and if you are trying to use the same approaches with Gemini, it may not work. Okay,
Okay.
but the basic things that blog post I mentioned, right? There, these things are very standard things. Okay, it will be applicable for almost all the. But another thing is every day they are improving, right? So whatever we are saying today, that may not be applicable after few days.
Mm.
Your question is like that or some other?
Yeah, because I'm just getting started with this ChatGPT. So,
Okay,
so
from
which one?
yeah, okay, just to ChatGPT user perspective, you are asking, right?
Mm.
Yeah, that you can
Not
ask ChatGPT
everything.
itself. Like that's suppose how to use effectively like that they will list. So mostly you can use image creation, okay, and image reading because internally it's using models for image handling, okay, and text summarization and article writing.
Some templates, because I'm working in one organization, there we are reporting our daily status. Okay, how differently we can give it, what kind of information we have to project, kind of in a different format. Regularly, we follow some template, right? Instead of that, can we give something different, more informative,
Yeah, that you can
project?
ask. Even for you can give that sample current template and you can ask it to improve.
Hmm.
So it can even if you give it in a one specific format or if you give the instructions, it will based on that instruction it will create. Or you can just that basically it's a brainstorming. We can do the brainstorming with the ChatGPT.
Okay.
But one thing is, if it is for organization, I don't know whether they will be allowing it because it will be sending the details to ChatGPT, right?
Yeah, that
So for
we
that purpose, we have to use some kind of local that models.
Okay.
Otherwise, you can just give some samples instead of giving the exact template. You can give some describe with this text, and based on that, you can ask it to improve.
Mm.
But
Similarly, for data analysis, what else we can give other than that existing approach kind of information, right? Instead of going and checking with some other team, asking the details, can we get that the information through ChatGPT?
yeah, yes,
Data analysis.
yeah, yes, you can ask. Like we can do it for like various things. Suppose give me some example, I can say how to do kind of it.
Um, so right now we are reporting some issues, okay, for some of the we are projecting some metrics and how this can be presented to clients, business.
Okay, okay. So for that,
Uh,
business intelligence tools are there, right? You may be familiar with Power BI, Tableau. Like
ah, reporting. Mm.
that will be better. But anyway, here also you can create or with Python also. Suppose if you are becoming familiar with bit familiar with Python, actually we can usually do with Python. Actually, I too started learning Python very recently only. Previously, I was working with testing and PHP development. But it's
Mm.
very simple only. Lot of Python is having a lot of powerful libraries. It's of
Yeah, I
this.
know Python, but not a development
No.
coding as in
I'm not saying that
basic
development
level. I know.
perspective, not development. Just as a user, we can just use that. That's what I'm saying. Suppose if we need
Mm.
some coding, you can ask ChatGPT to create the code.
Okay.
So if you say some scenario, I can just tell how to do that. Just you can just tell the thing to ChatGPT. It will create the Python code. You can put it in the Colab. You can get the results, any graph or anything. We immediately
Okay, Python analysis report
yeah,
kind of.
yeah, any
So
report.
graphical representation we will be getting kind.
Yeah, that also we can. But the only thing is, whatever that ChatGPT is giving, that information we need to be very careful. It may not be correct.
Oh,
We
okay.
can use it for doing some kind of work, but end result we shouldn't give that.
Hmm.
As I said, if you need some processing something, you can take help of ChatGPT to create Python code for doing that. And with that
Mm.
code, you can give your data and you can execute and get the result. By doing this way, you will be avoiding sending your company data to LLMs also. That is one another benefit.
Hmm.
Say for example, if you want to create some complex SQL query for getting some kind of thing, you can ask
Mm.
ChatGPT to give the SQL query instead of giving the entire result. You can ask it to give the
Okay.
SQL query and then run the query from your database, right? Similarly,
Hmm.
you can ask ChatGPT to create Python code something, and then you can use the code with your own data locally. But it will be simple only. For doing that, we need not have any kind of coding. Understand. But if you are familiar with coding, then it's okay. But still, you can do that.
Yeah, so one scenario I'm explaining.
Okay.
So I'm giving, yeah, I'm basically a data analyst, right? I'm just comparing some reports and giving them the details like these and all. We are finding some discrepancies, okay? But my leadership team asking, give the report with some Gen flavor. So in that case, I don't understand what Gen will give differently than the our existing traditional report. So where we can
Yeah,
make
you
use
can
of this.
try, right? You can just ask ChatGPT at Gemini and how it's
Okay.
because based on my understanding, they are giving some additional details. Our traditional understanding will be in some direction, but
Hmm.
these are because it's cumulative knowledge, right? They are trained with a lot of things, so their response is something somewhat good. But we have to take it as an inspiration only. We shouldn't use that as it is. That is key.
Okay. As is, we should not use it
Yeah,
again.
again,
Report
as I
and
said, it is very. You might have read that in various news articles also. The ChatGPT is struggling to count number of R's in the word strawberry itself. It's a very simple task, but still it's struggling to.
Okay.
But it will be able to do a lot of complex things, but still, but that they fixed it. But again, it's based on training data set, right? So for some scenarios it will work, but some other scenarios it may not work. But the problem is, I don't know whether it's correct or not. It will be confidently saying that it's correct like that. That's the problem. So that is one approach of prompt engineering. Whenever you are getting some result, we have to double check it. Are you sure that, like that? If you cross check that, then most of the time it will be saying that I apology, I said it wrongly, like that.
Okay.
That means it's like most of the times it will be giving some wrong information.
Then we
So
are not so confident on that results, right?
yeah, that's it.
Prompt.
We ideally 100% we should not use that. That is core. Didn't take the suppose if for writing books I use ChatGPT, but I can do it only for the domain which I am familiar with. If I'm trying to create books for some other things, then it's not feasible because so it will be giving some wrong information. But if we ask to correct it, it will correct it. It knows the details, okay, knows it, but it won't apply it. But for that only we have to use that chain of thought, that thing. We have to instruct it give it in a correct way, do it properly, like that. We have to give the instructions, do
Okay.
it step by step, like that. But here your question is like you are going to do some analysis, like data analysis, right? So for that, my understanding is if you are asking it to create some Python code, and if you are using that code, then that reliability won't be that much, right? But if you are straight away asking it to give the details, then sometimes it give a wrong answer.
So what is the other approach you are saying?
You can ask it to create the code,
Python
Python
code.
code something, and then you can use the code for doing further work.
Okay.
Say for
So
example,
this. Yeah.
for example,
Yeah.
currently I right uploaded this image and asked it to extract this image,
Content
right?
being collected. Yeah.
It extracted image, but what I'm saying is we can't believe this. So for this simple thing, it's okay. Suppose in a bank, suppose if they are planning to implement this, and for reading the check information, if they are putting this in place, means that's not reliable. Suppose, suppose instead of 1,000 rupees, if it is reading as 100 rupees, means then it's a problem, right? So what I'm saying is for that we can just give that just for example, maybe you can fit it into your scenario. Instead of asking read the text, we can ask ChatGPT to write a Python code to read this text.
Okay.
Just I'm saying as an example. So maybe it can.
So with this Python code, what do we do actually? What's the next step? Getting a Python code and then wait.
That's based on your scenario. The simple thing you can just put it in run a lab, or you can create simple. Yeah, that's what I'm asking. If you give some specific scenario, I can just show full example. May not be exactly the same thing. You can just tell some. But you are clear about what I'm trying to say, right?
Yeah.
What I'm saying is whatever information we are getting directly from table,
Reliable
but
instead
we can
get the
ask
code.
use them to do some kind of work, repeated work.
Yeah, routine, regular work.
Say for example, you're having in case of data, if some kind of suppose email IDs, email IDs are there, and you can 100 email IDs you are giving, and you are asking it to find out incorrect email ID. Okay, it will do it immediately. Okay, but what I'm saying is we shouldn't believe the LLMs for that purpose. What we have to do is we have to provide that and ask ChatGPT to create a Python code to handle that, and then we can use that code for doing any further work.
Yeah, that is the way also we are doing using Gemini, right?
Okay,
So
okay.
suppose for a particular column, if I want to find out that invalid characters or invalid yeah, what special character something there or not to capture that, we go and ask in Gemini to give the code. That with the help of the code, we again reading those file and adding the script and getting the results. Um, so in this fashion also we are doing it, yeah, programmatically getting the programs.
But your data, that format is continuously changing.
Changing means what results? Huh?
No, no, that data format. You are saying that you are using already using this approach, right? Suppose
Mm.
if you are still searching for some other approach, means there should be some problem with current approach, right? So I'm just trying to understand.
No, not yeah. If I'm trying to give this expression in Gemini, I'm getting the same set of code every time. The Python code that remains same only. So if I'm trying to give in a different way, then we have taken that code, generic code, and applied in our in our program.
Then it's
So
okay,
that
right?
is the approach. Yeah, that is the approach we already following. Yeah, but something like this kind of routine task, right? Daily sending the status report. So can this be automated, or how this
Okay.
do we have
So
something
you're
on?
just trying for like process auto flow, that automation, right?
Mm,
Overall, yeah, workflow automation.
yeah.
For that, what kind of technology you are using? It's a Microsoft technology or?
Workflow automation means what? It's a daily what and all task we are doing a day, right? And that one we are just updating in a mail and sending it out, right?
Yeah, that also can be automated with that Power Automate, that kind of technologies. They work for the weeks for
Okay.
that. Also almost that Microsoft, that feature is having almost automating all the things. This kind of work. You're expecting that kind of thing, or
No, one
oh,
such
for
example, do we have an option to explore this
okay,
for
no,
this
no, it is
specific
my question is,
product
it is
or
for individual basis or organizational.
organization level?
And one more thing is, previously I was not recording, right? But since no one's joined, I just broadcasted through live. Okay, of that.
Okay, okay. Hmm.
But organization level, in the sense, there should be some kind of that kind of already, because a lot of such tools are there. That is Microsoft technology is one tool. That Power Automate, that is, it seems powerful from that environment, Microsoft 3. But other open source tools are there. Normally, it's called as low code, no code, that kind of technologies, right?
Hmm.
Like lot of automation, Zapier. You might have heard about Zapier, right?
No.
So that I also recently came to know those things. So almost all the things are getting automated now. So because of that powerful API, almost any application is now providing API, right? So
Hmm.
very complex operations. Just we can just drag and drop various things, and entire things will be automated in the Zapier. You can check Zapier something. You can just explore, brainstorm with these things with ChatGPT. They will be.
Okay.
But
Hmm.
if you have any specific things, I can explain. Have any specific scenario, then maybe I can explain how to do that.
Okay. Yeah, not remember it as of
Okay,
now.
okay,
So we will. I'll connect with you separately.
okay, 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 okay. here instead of asking the answer here, we ask write a Python code. It's giving that code, right? Mostly that test track. So it's a powerful. We can locally we can use. But one problem is it won't be having all the font details. Suppose if you are using some different fonts, locally we have to again like give details about the font details. Otherwise, if something completely different means we have to go with some computer vision models, YOLO, that kind of models. There we can just train the models with our own data. Then it will behaving as per. What I'm trying to say is, if we are doing it by ourselves, it will be somewhat reliable. If we are relying on LLMs, then reliable. That hallucination is the major problem. That is why they're recently they're trying this reasoning model, right? DeepSeek R1, that almost even ChatGPT is having that O1 model. Have you heard about those?
No. I'm
That
just new to this chat GPT. I haven't explored much that
okay, okay.
terminology also I'm not so comfortable.
So the reasoning here, if you ask something, we click the reason, it will give the reason also why that answer like that. That case
Okay.
will not raise. Taking long. That case, it will be somewhat trying to avoid that hallucination. Is doing step by step reason, and we will be also knowing that reason why it's giving that answer. Can understand what it like exactly similar to human. If we ask some question, a person, he will be first thinking about, right, then giving at that answer, right? That thinking process also we can now control.
Okay.
Actually, they're trying to solve those things. They make all these. As of now, it is better to avoid taking, but we can use it for a lot of things. As I said, for getting explanation. Because only problem is we cannot rely on this. Reliability is otherwise for doing any kind of activities, things we can use.
Okay. So how do we evaluate that content written by LLM is correct or not?
For evaluating the models, there are a lot of parameters. But you're asking from end user perspective, right? Suppose you are taking content, text content from there, whether it is correct or not. So one is the reason. It is the giving the proper reason. If you check the reason, then we can rely on that. Otherwise, we have to use, say for example, normally what I ask ChatGPT to create some content. I will put that in Gemini and ask Gemini to verify whether any problem is there, and we again ask DeepSeek to find any right need corrections.
Oh.
Kind of cross checking, but
Okay.
still it's not that kind of reliable. Suppose if you are giving even correct information, Gemini will be giving that these are all incorrect, like that. That problem still.
Still there. Okay.
Anyway, if there are any major issues, maybe we can just
So how this will be useful for digital marketing?
Yeah, it's really very
For
much useful.
promoting our
Actually,
business.
I'm recently I started using it. Actually, I created courses and the ebooks, right? For
Hmm.
that, I just today only I created one. It's like manually created without taking help, but that campaign was not working properly. Uh, so act as that prompting technique is right. I just asked ChatGPT to act as a digital marketing expert like that. Then I started asking, just like talking with expert, how to create that
Oh,
campaigns like
okay.
digital marketing in the sense just a social media like that you are saying or PPC campaigns.
No, actually, for our own business, so we are spending going to that SEO team, right?
Okay, okay.
For yes, social media marketing only. We are spending money on that. So, but it's not more reliable. So that's the reason. Is there any option available that
Yeah,
can we do it? But
here we can ask a lot of things. But you're talking about SEO means it's organic traffic. You're referring organic traffic or it's a paid campaigns. You're running campaigns or
campaigns means what? I didn't understand.
campaigns means PPC,
Marketing.
pay per click. Because uh, running advertisements. Whenever you visit some websites, you can see advertisements, right?
Yeah, that is the one. In that Google ads and all, we
Yes,
will pay and get that
yes,
done for our business
yes,
and Instagram, Facebook.
yes. You're referring
That
that one.
yeah, that is the one. That is the SEO digital marketing,
SEO
right?
means it's organic. Like instead of paying money, because 10 years back, it was major thing. That
Hmm.
time we were selling timesheets, a lot of timesheets, and we're good at SEO at that time. Whenever anyone search timesheet on the Google search, it will be appearing in the 11th push. A lot of people uh, coming to and ask. That is
For
SEO.
that reason.
That
That
means
also we are doing. Actually, we are running one automobile service unit in Bangalore. So, not to promote our business, yeah, we have approached some of the brokers for SEO.
but SEO is almost right now outdated because
Outdated.
it's completely
Okay.
highly competitive, right? So 10,
Mm.
15 years back, number of websites are comparatively less, but right now comparatively that not that should be
Mm.
combined with this PPC ads. Yes, um, but you are saying that already you are doing right, then it's okay.
Mm.
But you want to do it effectively, right?
Yeah, it's not that much
So ROI
efficient.
is not positive. Your revenue.
What does it mean?
What I'm asking whether whatever you're spending money is for running the campaigns, PPC ads, right? So whether you're
Mm.
getting back that money or negative.
Yeah, we are not getting proper yeah,
Okay,
outcome from that.
you're outsourcing to some other company. Or,
Yeah, some other vendor we are outsourcing.
okay, okay. So for that it is very useful. You can ask
Which one?
ChatGPT.
Okay.
There may be some. Only I just back only I just really very effective. Brainstorming practice. But we, as I said, we cannot directly use this. I just try to copy the same keywords, and that time Google Ads is saying that this not having.
Hmm.
But we can get some overview. Like it's very best for brainstorming. That's what many people are saying.
Mm. That keywords you'll be collecting from here, is it? Mm.
Yeah, but that is not the effective. That's what I'm. Uh, for the keywords, we can some other word tool.
Mm.
But here we can get some ideas how to same thing for coding, for article, similarly for digital also we can get some like overall I can say that we can use it as a like whatever we are asking it should be doing like that only we can use. We cannot use its own like as a end result we cannot use. Same thing is applicable for here also.
Mm.
You can get some idea because it's having a lot of information, right? But whatever it's finally it's giving we can't or we shouldn't use that as it is. But you can ask, do the brainstorm. You can just share the details of your campaigns.
Ideas we will get it from here, but we are not totally rely on. We should not rely on this, right?
Yes,
Yes.
you can brainstorm it. But it will be really useful. You can definitely you can improve a lot by discussing.
Mm.
Here it's a bad copy. It will be useful for a lot of other things, as I said, some template kind of creating template things, right?
Mm.
To LinkedIn or you're in the Gumroad website, they're selling a lot of. So mostly they are created ChatGPT.
Mm.
Say for example, in case of SQL queries, if you want to have all the things in one sheet, it can create template like.
Mm.
As I said, if you give the issue, then it will correct it. Here I mentioned all your suggest keywords are not eligible. Right? Immediately it corrected. What I'm trying to say is it is having that information, but getting that information properly is our skill. Is prompting. We are good at
Oh.
prompting, it will be useful. We have to our prompting skills to get the record.
Yeah, that is the challenging part.
Yeah, for that, as I said, we have to follow some certain rules. Here I mentioned, right?
Mm.
That is thing, but other than that, we have to experiment a lot of things.
Mm.
But your question is from user perspective, not from development perspective, right?
Yeah, I more or less as an end user, I just want
Okay,
to
okay.
utilize the results outcome of ChatGPT, not going to develop something out of it.
It's only experiment, like
Mm. But for that, we need to spend more time, right? Not to get a proper outcome.
but if you are familiar with how to basically what I can say is you have to properly guide the ChatGPT. Yes,
Model.
if you are giving the instructions properly, then the output will be smoothly coming. Otherwise, so if you are doing it this, you can understand. Saying that you are not much familiar, right? But if you
Mm.
once start using it, but you have to understand the basic things like I explained that prompting, right?
Mm.
The thing is the model also times I'm using free version. You're also using free version, right? That means you in the sense
ChatGPT, Gemini.
Gemini also, right? But
Person only, yeah. If we enroll, if we register through our personal ID, then they'll give some amount, right?
okay, okay.
That minimum amount to make use of it. Yeah. Yes,
Why I'm saying is here actually I'm using free account only, but it will be providing this access to the latest model for specific time period. Okay, so I will be using that. After that, it will be going back to previous model. That time, that performance will be less. So we need to consider that also.
Okay.
So which model is used? PT4 means it's somewhat better. 4O means.
Hmm.
But DeepSeek also it's better. You can try DeepSeek.
Can you spell out what is that? DeepSeek. Okay.
But it's
This is
like
also
most of the time it won't work. That is the problem because it's very famous right now. Almost everyone is trying to use.
same as that of ChatGPT, right? This
Yes.
one's.
But somewhat better than output and the behavior will be better.
Mm. This also open source, right? Free account can be created.
Yeah, it's open source. Even we can in the Hugging Embedded, we can 4 million.
So what is this from the how do we download this from Google
No, it's
Play
from
Store?
development perspective. This
Okay.
Hugging Face. But I understand your question. That I think Play Store you can download the app. Otherwise, you can just directly use from browser.
Hmm.
Better than here also they implemented this. Almost all the trying to.
Deep think means reasoning, is it? Okay.
But normally we need not use that. Otherwise, it take more time and. But if you want some stable.
Hmm.
But you are expecting like details about digital marketing. For that, you can suppose if you are using display marketing or some images, you are using some images, right?
Images, yeah.
You can upload the images. You can ask
How it can be
feedback
improved.
whether
Like,
this are not converting.
yeah, because every time, yeah, my husband prepares something in PPT and directly publishing in the Facebook. So that is look and feel. It's not at all so good, so good actually. And content wise also, it's so basic when compared to others. Uh,
Okay, but
like
it's
that.
again it's based on the audience, right? Suppose that audience are liking that means yeah, that's what we will be thinking in one way. But if you ask the questions from kind of LLMs, means they will be having like a vast knowledge, right? So they will
Mm.
be so based on the audience also. Suppose even if you are outsourcing the image creation to other people, experts,
Mm.
then still it may not work. So it's based on your target audience, how they are expecting. So it's a
Mm.
kind of sales or service kind of.
Service.
For that, we need not having that image.
Yeah, more descriptive content, like some offers, something if they're planning for this one sale. In that case, we work in, yeah,
Okay,
we
okay.
will work along with someone and we are doing. Mm.
So maybe it's going live, right? Maybe we can disconnect and maybe talk, right?
Yeah, I thought of saying that.
Can I
Mm.
disconnect and
Yeah, sure.
call to or Google Meet? In the Google Meet system, I will disconnect this live and then we can do.
Yeah.
Right? So I